Our first question, as we observing the MENA region, is flourishing with IP, through developing their legal systems and regulations, and entering more and more in international treaties regarding IP through WIPO, and collaborations with WIPO to establish IPTI centers and test centers in all the region. There is many test centers. I'm seeing there's many test centers in Egypt and also in some countries and Jordan. And there's establishing also the IPTI centers. There is an IPTI center in Egypt, an IPTI center in Saudi Arabia, and now they are establishing in more and more countries. Additionally, the region has been organizing conferences and summits, like Tech Summit, which I read about a little bit, which takes in Egypt. What do you think, sir, about the MENA region? Does the MENA region has done so far good enough? Or what else needs to be done to implement IP in their economy? What do you think about these collaborations and these conferences? Did they do their impact to enforce IP? And did they have they pushed companies to think about their business from IP perspective?
Okay, hello Zilla, hello Mr. Tobias. I'm thrilled to be with all of you, and it's my honor for me to participate in this important interview. For your question, Zilla, yes, it seems that with the new generation in Africa, especially in Arab region and in MENA, North Africa, there is interesting in intellectual property rights in the last decade, and this returned to, as you said, the awareness conferences and webinars, also supportive initiatives like Tech Summit, also the government interest in intellectual property and the challenges with the new technologies like video games, metaverse, and AI. This shift became particularly evident from during the COVID-19 pandemic. After COVID-19 pandemic, start governments in Arab regions and in MENA to make interesting for intellectual property and give full support politically and financially for this path. This also which changed the mentality of government to focus on the knowledge economy, what's called between brackets called a knowledge economy, and invest in research and development. This reflects in a growing number of business incubators and accelerators in the Arab region. We are in Egypt. We, yes, in Egypt we have a lot of incubators and accelerators that support the innovation. Let me read some numbers that be evident that the intellectual property rights in MENA and North Africa be impacted with positive impact in this one. If we return back to global innovation index, that this report that published by issued by WIPO every year, at the end of every year, we will find in the last 4 years, from 2020 to 2024, for Egypt, for example, this moved from the rank 96 to 86, 10 rank better than 2020. Also for Saudi Arabia, from one from Africa and one from Asia, from the MENA region, you will find Saudi Arabia from the rank of 66 to 47. Also Algeria from 121 to 115. Not only for the innovation index, also for the number of desk offices that we will find new desks, offices, and branches opened in these countries. For example, in Egypt, we will start by 22 branch, then now it's 59, 58. Also in Algeria, I think around 100 desk branches in all universities and some companies and some institutes. Also, the number of patents and number of trademarks uh, filed filed by resident, not foreigner, but by resident. We will find in Saudi as example, the double is filed from 2020 around 1,300 patent application filed by Saudi Arabians to 2,600 in 2024. Also, for the trademarks, we will find around 6% from the residents in Arab region and in MENA in North Africa filed by residents. Also, for industrial design, now around 80% from residents filed this application. I hope to that the question full information about how to intellectual property be interesting in this area.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, that was a very interesting, also the numbers that you give, how yeah, the trends are basically. Yeah.
Thank you.
That gives us a real idea about what's going on. As for the second question, achieving sustainable economic growth has been a target in the MENA region for so long, but it didn't achieve it fully. So looking at Saudi Arabia and Egypt, maybe they are really moving forward and implementing IP regulations and procedures effectively. As for collaborations, for example, a collaboration between SAIPA, IP office in the Saudi Arabia and Qura University to do some courses in IP. And also for Egypt to establish the main جهاز المركزي للملكية الفكرية. I don't know what you can call it
Egyptian
in English.
Authority of Intellectual Property.
Yes, Egyptian Authority of Intellectual Property. What do you say if we continue to do that? Are we going to be a success story? And what can you say about this national strategy in Saudi Arabia and in Egypt?
Okay, thank you, Zila. I completely agree with you. In just a few years, starting from 2021, Saudi Arabia has embraced IP and advancing rapidly. This is evident from restructuring of IB governance to establish one authority, and that's called Saudi Authority of Intellectual Property, responsible to protecting IPR and enforcement the rights, and also raising awareness of intellectual property. Not only the collaboration with Jamat Qura or University of Qura, but also Saudi Arabia or Sayyib established an IP academy that launched from 2022. They have a new step in the law. They now start to draft law to face the challenges between intellectual property rights and artificial intelligence, and found some problems to protect these inventions, how to will filed by AI or filed by the main author or main inventor or natural inventor. For that, they redraft the law now. They not issued till now. Also, Saudi Arabia have an object to lead the region in intellectual property and provide all support politically, financially to achieve this object. And this reflected by the statistics we are mentioned before for the number of patents from the resident or for a number of trademarks, for example. In Egypt, it's the same step taken to be leading the region because Egypt started to, for example, examining the patent, substantive examining from 1951. It's from, I think, around 75 years start to examine patents. For that, they taking now significant steps to enhance its IP standing in MENA region and North Africa by launching IP strategies that launching in the 2022. We also already in Egypt, we have a strong infrastructure legally and for technical experts and experience in examinations and in intellectual property. And these all factors can make Egypt and Saudi Arabia be into the top of countries that will uh, lead the region. Also, if I have a time to add some information about strategy in Egypt, that strategy in Egypt aims to establish new authority of intellectual property right, and this happened now by issuing the law number 163 for 2023, and now we selected the chairman of this authority, and this strategy has a significant objective to enhance the legal system in Egypt, also to increase the awareness in institutions and make collaboration between university and companies, and utilize IP rights, also to encourage technology transfer from the university to the market.
Inshallah. And if I can mention an idea that Mr. Tobias said, as a whole, as he is looking at us, maybe we are in the region, but he is as he looking at us from far away. He's saying he's more region going to build an IP hubs. And
Yes.
doing the Singapore procedures or the Singapore example, doing as Singapore. What can you say, Mr. Tobias? If you can explain that idea, you explained it
Yes.
to me earlier.
Yeah. So I mean, the idea that I was talking about is that instead of just thinking very national and build up in every country, I mean there are of course a lot of also smaller countries on their own an IP system, so you could also go more for a regional approach, like in Europe, where you have the European Patent Office that deals with all that small countries and coordinates basically the IP efforts of all countries, or the alternative direction that Singapore runs, who is basically also coordinating all the countries in the Southeast Asia region without directly having something like a European patents, but they are doing a coordination effort between the countries. So that could be a way, especially for smaller countries, that they can strengthen the IP system, although they don't have that many resources internally.
Yeah, it's great.
Thank you, Tobias.
Yes.
As for third question, historically, the MENA region had low technology transfers due to the lack of the R&D centers. However, it's now trying to overcome this kind of push those entrepreneurs, giving them guidance, giving them funds, funds in order for them to move forward and make their ideas come true. What do you think from your experience, sir? What role has IP strategy played in those incubators so far? Do they have good IP frameworks? And as an entrepreneur, you have to teach him also about IP, how to protect his idea. He's starting. Is there some kind of that? Are they through incubators are pushing IP knowledge, knowledge and practicing IP in entrepreneurship?
Okay, Zila, as I understand from your question, because some connection troubles, I think you're talking about the support of government about for entrepreneurs and incubator accelerators to make the funding to make more about intellectual property and be interesting for intellectual property and protect rights. Okay, if you wanted to return back to it, will be good.
Yeah, I'm saying okay. I'm saying in those incubators, in
Mm,
this incubators, is there an IP framework? Are
mm.
truly making the entrepreneur through the incubator do protect his idea through IP, make him knowledge that that his idea as an entrepreneur is a brilliant idea. You have to protect it. You have to have an IP framework. You have to have an IP strategy in those incubators. Are they pushing to do that
Okay,
and implementing?
okay. I understood your question. Yes, indeed. The IB strategy play important role in providing legislative and financing framework for these projects like incubators and accelerators. Through now you know in the Egyptian central bank started to give permission for intangible assets to have funding from bank now. For that, this is one step in financial to support incubators and accelerators to invest in this role of intellectual property. Also, because some is this step will lead many companies to recognize the importance of intellectual property and the benefits it's offered for them also in Egypt and the facilities, not only for the funding, also for what we call tax incentives. We can tax free for some incubators and accelerators that create a new innovation. Also, we has in the Egypt what's called the Science, Technology and Innovation Incentives Law. We have a full law for this kind of innovation and to establish more incubators. And this law give, as I said before, tax benefits, customs exemptions, and also streamlined administrative procedures be very easy now for them. Also, we have major conferences now, and we have a new idea for television programs that serve as business incubators like Shark Tank. We have Shark Tank TV. This Shark Tank TV program make competition between startups to secure funding and the judging from a prominent investor, no normal investor, no prominent investor in the Egyptian market. And this prominent investor, when admire with one idea for these startups. They promising this innovation and make partnership with them and find a place in the market for these companies. Also, we have many incubators in the universities, also in private sectors. I think
Thank you,
the
thank you.
idea.
I hope they are doing fine and they are doing just fine and really they are pushing the region forward
Yes,
and pushing the internal uh, the the entrepreneurs. They are pushing the entrepreneurs because the
yes,
entrepreneurs are the core of the economy.
yes, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Amer.
Thank you.
As we can move to you, Mr. Tobias, to ask the fourth question.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, I mean, you just talked already a bit about the connection between the universities and the private sector, because I mean, to some degree, innovation always comes from universities. So you need to have them, but then you need to commercialize them, and that's where the private sector, of course, comes in. And a lot of countries, also yeah, more experienced countries in IP, are often a bit struggling to get the research results from the university really to the market. That's a pretty complicated topic in IP. So we wanted to explore a bit how your university is basically supporting that, because I mean you're having the main IP master's degree in Egypt there, so I mean you should have some success stories that you can and want present. Yeah, so basically the question is how are your experiences, how universities and research centers can overcome that obstacles with transferring knowledge from the university to the private sector and really commercialize it and make it successful in the market.
And I would like also for you to shed light on your experience in Tunisian masterclass that you talked to me about. I think that is really a good example.
Yes, for me also will be the example. Uh, Mr. Tobias, since establishment of we have in Egypt a National Institute for Intellectual Property, as this is following Helwan University. At the end of 2016, I think it's very new one. Didn't have 10 years till now, 8 years till now. Number of masters and PhD researchers interest in Egypt has become significant because this institute give the PhD and the master's degree for the specialists from any 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 background. Because in Egypt, before this institute, only what the persons that have a legal background can take a master in intellectual property rights. But after establishing this institute, no, we have a very big and number of researchers in master degree and in PhD. These researchers make the process, new process for raising awareness about intellectual property in Egypt and extend most extensive awareness. Every year, the institute make a campaign through this national institute to spread intellectual property awareness in all faculties in Egypt. And also, uh, uh, this is the success story about the IP awareness. But let me more precise that at level of transferring technology from universities to market in Egypt, no major success story still now. because the number, and this happened because the number of patents registered by all universities in Egypt over the last 5 years, which are in dozens, and without delivering these inventions or marketing them, and in a way that underscores this significance to the Egyptian market. Uh, but I believe after the strategy and also after the establishing of a national institute, I think some of projects we will find in the market from the university to the market uh, in the next days. Also, because as we said before that the new law of incubators that in 2023 and the new law of authority Egyptian authority uh, for that after this law is issued now, we will find in the future some of these stories that come from university to the market.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank
Yeah,
you very
yeah,
much.
we hope
That's,
so. We hope so.
yeah, so maybe I can tell you also a bit about what we did with the WIPO in Tunisia. So yeah, we were basically asked by WIPO to support yeah, an innovation engineering course. So that is called. It was a course that is not targeted to IP experts, but really to engineers who are building the new products in the end. But we gave them some IP insights so that they can build their products in a way that they can actually be protected then with IP, or that they just know that you can protect in general things, and that they search for an IP expert to help them to protect their innovation. So in the end, the idea is that you have something like an IP influencer in the technical departments of the companies, so that really helps to improve the IP protection in the company and then the economic success of the company. Yeah.
It's a nice
Uh,
example.
yes, yes. You are implementing in IP in the company and building an IP strategy in the company. That's great.
Yes, yes. This is great. Also, is the significant step happened in the universities in Egypt. We all of universities, government universities now established IP policy. And
Ah,
this will
that's
be the
great.
first step. Yes, will be the first step to make a step of marketing or commercialization as new inventions that that field in this in all fields. Yeah,
Mm.
thank you.
Hope everyone gets an IP strategy.
Yeah, I think Syria now preparing for launching a new strategy.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. You are hoping so. And you are also in Syria. We signed an treaty with the WIPO to establish test centers in Syria and the IPTI. We're hoping next year they will open them. As we can move forward to you, Mr. Tobias.
Yeah, thank you very much. So now we're already coming to the last question. So the background is a bit that, especially since 2020, we are seeing a lot more on digital platforms that there are IP influencers that create IP awareness, and also the formal teaching is going more online. So just one example from our teachings, we are having since 2019 already a full distance learning course, so that we enable people worldwide to access that teaching material without the need to travel. So that's a lot more easy for more people, especially from smaller or far away countries, to access the courses. And we also have some graduates now already from the MENA region, So we wanted to ask you a bit, what is your experience with all that the digital communication, so digital awareness building for IP or also digital courses? Yeah, how do you think can the MENA region profit from all that digital opportunities that are now there? And do you think that that this can especially help for economic prosperity in the region?
Yeah, me also in the teaching of intellectual property rights because I be authorized from WIPO in 2014, and I from this year we start a lot of webinars and teaching. Also, we can be trainee, as you know, in
Yes.
some courses, yeah, and distance learning also. I have a background as a tutor in some of distance learning. Also, in addition, some collaboration projects between WIPO and SAIB being one, because me as a regional expert for a project between for building capacity of technology and IP in Saudi Arabia for 1 year. Also, teaching IP diploma in IP diploma in Daha Khifan Intellectual Property Center in Emirates. Also in Syria, some of Syria and Algeria. Uh, for that, I wanted to make a brief about what's my experience through these courses offered, by example, by CB. This is one of the largest study centers in the world, particularly in Europe, in the field of intellectual property, which truly contribute to developing specialists and inspires. This is my personal experience from 2015 when I attended in person at the center headquarters in Strasbourg. And a second time in 2022, I gained a lot of from these experiences, resulting in my collaboration with my colleagues, Dr. Ali Al-Bahiri, to prepare a project for an we suggested to establish electronic platform aimed to link between universities with SMEs. This in short time, and we conduct surveys to identify the inventions owned by Egyptian universities, and to highlight the widening gap happened between the universities and the market. And we suggested that this invention can be marketed by SMEs. This proposal being uh, being in this 2022 from the top projects that have full market from our advisors from University of Texas. Also, but we hope soon official will pay attention to achieving this, studying this project for implementation on the ground. I told my this story and success story for the courses with CB because I wanna more participant from MENA region to have this distance learning courses and online courses or in-person courses to get more talent about the new technologies and implement it in our market, because our market needs this knowledge and needs this progress that developed countries did in intellectual property rights. I think as coming days we will find a lot of things changed in MENA region about intellectual property. As you know, in this day, in nowadays, and some of offices make collaboration with some of developed countries about digital transformation, like Egypt and Korea in patent office. also between Saudi Arabia and Korea for examination, and between Emirates and Korea for examination. This will impact positive for the
They are doing course.
yeah, yes. Uh, for that, I think the distance learning courses that offered by CB Bar, WIPO, by any organization that wanted to awareness of our intellectual property be very interesting for the people from developing country to make thing in the future for their countries.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.